Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today we are just doing another NW opening. We haven't got anywhere near enough of these done so far this year, so here comes another one, and then hopefully we'll be able to pick up the pace with them. I've been a little bit distracted running the business and everything, but yeah, we're gonna just do a quick one here today. We're testing out the new floodlight, which to be completely honest, I'm still not sold on this one either, you know, guys. I'm not sure it's quite as good as I'd hoped it was, but it seems to be able to do the job. So today, we are doing an unboxing on the Greatest Hits Wave 2? 3? Greatest Hits 3, right? On the Greatest Hits 3 Brutus Beefcake. Now, this is one I don't particularly care about too much, so obviously it's worth just getting it popped open and we'll get the floodlight tested. We'll get another NW opening done, and then hopefully we're going to finally get around to doing all 4 of the Royal Rumble wave of figures from this year, the Build-A-Figure Virgil wave, and then hopefully we'll also be able to get D'Lo Brown and Kama Mustafa done very, very soon, because I need those out for filming the next part of Fix the World. So I picked this up because I realised that Brutus Beefcake was really quite important to me when I was a kid in my figure fed. As weird as that might have been, obviously he was, you know, when you look back as an adult, it's kind of like, well, he was just Hulk Hogan's friend. But, you know, when you're a kid, he was a pretty big deal. And I just found him really toyetic. I had the classic Superstars where he was in the bright pink. And I just thought, even before I was even interested in wrestling figures, I'm sure I feel like I saw the classic Superstar in Asda. And I was like, this is weirdly interesting, this action figure, you know? It's the regular version. I couldn't find a chase when I went in for them. And I decided to just scoop him when he was like a tenner. I'd kept an eye on him for a while, knowing that they were, you know, inevitably going to go down to a tenner. There was still so many of them in stock, so I kept an eye, pulled the trigger once they went down. It was a little bit too late to get a chase, but we still got the figure. But for such a valueless figure, there's not really any point in leaving it in there, as the, you know, over 120 figures we need to unbox, so we may as well get him out. So there is the front of the box. In this new figure box design, I don't think we've had any of these on this series yet. Actually, I think this might be the only one I've had, unless the Royal Rumble wave from this year might be in this packaging as well. And this is also the first Greatest Hits figure to be opened on the series as well. I do have a few from Greatest Hits Series 1. I've just never got around to unboxing those, and it's been a bit of a hit and miss line for me as we've gone on, so I've not been super interested. But yeah, I quite like this packaging. It cuts down on the plastic, whilst also simultaneously not having the Marvel Legends problem of just covering the figure up completely. Obviously with Mattel, you really don't want that, because we do get some really dodgy figures. The only thing that I would probably want less than a blind Mattel figure is a blind Jazzwares figure. But yeah, I think this packaging was fine. I think it looks good, and it cuts down on the amount of plastic used, obviously, until we get in there and discover that the plastic actually falls right down to the bottom of the box. Until that point, then we can say that, you know, it's like we've got less plastic use. Oh no, I tell you what, I lied. Credit to Mattel. The plastic only goes where the plastic is. It doesn't go right down at the bottom. Interesting. I've definitely seen that with other figures, so, you know, certainly wouldn't have been surprised. We've got the side profile as well, just an identical picture of the front, and even the picture on the back looks very, very similar. We've got the rest of the wave on the back, which kind of shows you why I've not been all that interested in Greatest Hits. We've got the Scorpion King, The Rock, which the less said about the better. We've got the Rowdy Roddy Piper. Now, I feel like I still haven't seen this in the UK, like, at all. So did we just not get this figure again? We got the Brutus Beefcake, of course. We got the Seth Rollins, very passable for me anyway. The R-Truth I'd totally had, but we didn't get it over here for whatever reason. And the Earthquake and Typhoon, again, I'm keeping my eye on them, and if I can pick them up for like 20 each, maybe a little bit more, or, you know, if the urge to buy them grows a little bit, I'll probably pick them up. But other than that, I mean, they're a really cool, these are a really cool pair of remakes, don't get me wrong. I just don't know how much I want to spend on them. I have a lot invested in a kind of classic Superstars fed that I've never really pulled the trigger on. So I think that's more or less enough waffling for this figure, so let's get into the box and see what we're looking at. So we've got the white and red backing card there, actually looks pretty good. And then we've got the Brutus. Be very careful with the very delicate accessories like glasses and stuff, not to immediately lose those. He's banded in. Shouldn't be so cavalier at trying to pull them out. So first of all, I love that the way that it's packaged means that the belt kind of comes out already molded to his shoulder. So like if you want to, you know, pose people with it over the shoulder, then that's cool as well. Obviously that molding, that you're kind of warping rather more than molding will be, you know, that'll change as you have it around people's waists and stuff like that. That won't last long. But, you know, I'm forever trying to drape the belts over people's shoulders, etc. And, you know, not being able to sort of get it to stay there. The figure looks pretty good, you know. The head scan's more or less accurate to Brutus, and it's less weird looking than some of the others. You know me, I prefer a closed mouth head scan. He also isn't pulling any like weird expression or anything. He doesn't have really wide eyes or anything like that. So, you know, it definitely looks better than some Brutus Beefcakes. The jacket is pretty nice. It's nice and toyetic as well. The very bright yellow. And then, of course, the same yellow on the trunks as well. The torso mold on this one is a little bit smaller than some of the Brutuses, which is good. I think some of the others are so broad that it not only doesn't look like him, but it just looks ridiculous. Like it's just, you know, it's out to like here, and he just kind of looks ridiculous. He's still pretty much accurate to life in terms of like a body shape, and his arms are really thick. Like for a regular elite, his arms just seem to be really, really thick. Those shoulders both seem to be good, so that's nice. Is just a little close-up of the yellow jacket. Yep, just nice. And of course we've got the interchangeable fist hands. You know me, I like fists and I like grip hands. And of course we've got the glasses as well with a bit of a glare on them as well. So that's nice. And then we've got the bow tie around the neck. That's a little bit better. That's more like, that's rubber rather than like hard plastic. So it's probably got a better chance of staying on him a little bit longer. You're still probably going to lose it. But, you know, rather than the classic Superstars one where you just lose it immediately. I actually think I kept track of mine for a very long time and then eventually did lose it. I have like a headband from an Elite Bailey and stuff, which I literally just don't put on her because I'm pretty confident, you know, I'm going to put it on her and just lose it while I'm filming with it. So there's the back view. And of course, back to the front view. We didn't really actually look at this, so let's take a look at the World Tag Team Championship, the classic tag team title design, silver plate as opposed to gold plate. I still can't really decide which I prefer, but the one thing I do know is I kind of hope I don't end up keeping both, because I definitely don't need both, but I kind of like both. And I'm pretty sure this is slightly different to one that I opened a little while ago in a mail video, which I think it was just a bit less shiny than this one. So they don't match, so I shouldn't keep them, right? Anyway, let's get into a bit of a joint check. So starting off with that head, and of course the bow tie is going to keep it in place a little bit better as well. Although moving the head is not going to keep the bow tie in place, but that joint seems good. The shoulder seems good. I mean, out the box, it's already moving, so that's, you know, that's good. We seem to have the full range of motion there. Maybe a little bit limited there, but then he is quite thick there, and if we had that really wide chest, it would be even worse. The bicep swivel is fine, and the double jointed elbow is nice and stiff, and that wrist is nice for now. Actually, the bottom joint of that elbow is a little bit loose. See that just kind of popping along there. Other shoulder, maybe a little bit more stiff, but still, yep, doesn't go up. Doesn't go up. I'm not sure how much that'll matter to Brutus Beefcake, but yeah, definitely a lot better than a lot of the elites we get nowadays. Bicep is fine, the elbow is fine, and the wrist is a little bit looser, but again, we're using interchangeable hands, so it's probably just going to loosen over time. Anyway, this ab joint, actually, that's not too bad. When I first got this out of the box, it seemed to be really stiff. It actually seems to be okay. Holds its shape. It's not bad. We have a couple of lines there on his boob, on his moob. A couple of lines in the mouldings. That's a bit of a shame, but it doesn't really matter. Can't really be helped. The waist is fine. The leg is fine to go up, and the knee is fine. Boot swivel is fine, and the actual toe doesn't move like most. Leg goes up fine. Knee is maybe a little bit more loose, and that boot is fine. So the joints are completely fine on this figure. And in terms of, how this figure actually is, I can't see anything wrong with it. Let's just put him back together again. And now that that's done, let's get a view of the full look, since I didn't put his glasses on earlier before he took his jacket off. I'm trying to rush this video really, guys, because I'm a known waffler, so, I'm just kind of forgetting things as I go along. So that is the full look. Of course, you can add your fist hands instead if you would prefer. I can't think of anything wrong with this figure. It doesn't come with any shears, but I can't really say that matters all that much to me. And obviously, he's one of many half tag teams in the Mattel line, which does suck, but it's really not that big of a deal unless you want the other half of the tag team, I suppose, or the other tag belt. Never great to have to buy two of the same figure to get two of the tag belt. That's never very much fun. But other than that, it's Brutus Beefcake, isn't it? Like, he's not the most exciting guy in the world, as I've already mentioned, but it is a Brutus Beefcake figure, and there's not really anything wrong with it. There's not an awful lot of value to it anymore either, because obviously it's Brutus Beefcake. It didn't sell super well. So, I don't know. I don't really know what you can say about this. The figure is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. He's a very toyetic guy, and, he was a pretty important character during the era. So, it's really nice to pick up, and I think the accessories are good. At the end of the day, it could have just not came with that belt. Then we wouldn't be thinking it's half of a tag team. We'd be thinking, like, it's a figure that didn't come with a belt or any, like, accessories or anything. It just came with his glasses and his jacket and his bow tie. It wouldn't be that much of a surprise. And what I like to do to finish my figure unboxings is talk about what this guy is going to do in my figure fed. Now, as I've already mentioned in the video, I have a Classic Superstars figure fed that's just not really taken off. So it'll probably feature in that. And like I said, the whole point of getting him was because I wanted one of him because he was pretty important to me when I was a kid. Now he's going to have nowhere near the level of push that he kind of got when I was a kid, but I definitely would imagine he'll be popping up, probably as like an enhancement talent, maybe in that kind of Hogan's best friend role, if someone needs a tag partner, etc. But, again, it's Brutus Beefcake. He's not going to be shooting for the stars. And if you enjoyed this video, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think, and check out the NWOpenings playlist in the end screen. I really do appreciate you guys joining me, so thank you all for watching, and goodbye.